The coast is clear.
Are you sure you don't want me to sing you a song of valor to buff your dexterity? Me.
Shh, Bajo. You'll awaken the goblin.
Did you see me fighting off a whole pack of skeletons back there? Ha ha! I did a fine job.
D.A.R.R.E.N. Shh.
Guys! The magical cheese toasties. All hail the magical cheese toasties.
Who there disturbs the mystical caverns of cheese?
Typical Bajo, your singing has done us in again. The Goosemancer knows we're here now. Well done.
Well, Darren, if you weren't dawdling, we could have eaten the toasted cheese sandwich by now and have its goodness in our belly.
Oh, I knew I should have come on this quest alone.
Silence! You shall meet the same fate as all other adventurers who come seeking my cheesy treasures. Open trapdoor. We got him. Now what?
Looks like we're trapped in this foul prison.
What a strange place, but it does seem oddly familiar.
Guys, I can't see any exits. No, there are no exits. We're trapped here forever.
Maybe we should just present the show from here then.
Good idea. Hello, and welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo the Bard, aka Bajo.
And I'm Ranger Hex.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N, the fearsome dwarf king.
And as you can see, there's a bit of a fantasy theme for today's episode.
And it's a good thing too, because we'll be exploring the dungeons of Lumo.
And questing through the Song of Seven.
A song, you say, Hex? Well, a Song of Seven.
Though myth and legend have been around for centuries, the modern fantasy genre is as recent as the last 100 years or so, with Tolkien's Lord of the Rings books having the biggest influence.
And epic fantasy has been such a strong basis for so many video games.
Yeah, it's definitely my favourite genre. All right, Dwarf King D.A.R.R.E.N, let's have a challenge.
Level up your level up your brain cells, spawnlings, because it's time for D.A.R.R.E.N's challenge. Today, I'm asking you this. Final Fantasy XIV takes place in the region of Eorzea, in the fictional world of what? Answer at the end of the show.
Well, now it's time to check in with our evil captor, Goosemancer.
Hey, Goosemancer, when are you going to let us out of here?
Let you out? Never! Well, not right now at least. I've got to get through my gaming picks. And first up, a group of builders have created this real-life mechanical pong table. The impressive build took the team about 2 years to make, and they claim they learned everything needed to build it from the internet? Pah, that looks like dwarven craftsmanship to me, cursed dwarves. And next up, a couple of announcements from the world of Minecraft. Firstly, console versions will be getting a series of minigame add-ons, the first of which will be a free competitive multiplayer mode called Battle. And secondly, if you're tired of seeing Minecraft used to advertise stuff, well, good news. Mojang has changed their guidelines and will no longer allow corporations or politicians to use Minecraft to promote themselves or their products. Users will still be free to create whatever they'd like, though, providing they aren't being sponsored to make it. I think that's everything. Oh yes, and as a reminder, don't forget, we're taking submissions for our Pokemon competition now. Make sure you get yours in for your chance to win some sweet loot. Now, back to thwarting these pesky adventurers. And so on.
Thanks, Goosemancer. Now will you let us out?
Well, I'll think about it. If you answer me this riddle, give me food and I will live. Give me water and I will die. What am I?
Well, that's obviously fire, duh.
Aha! We have solved your riddle. Now release us from this torturous chamber.
Well, I mean, it's not really that torturous. There's even cushions.
When you say food, what do you really mean? I mean, soup might kill a fire because it's water-based.
That's true.
And, soup can be really chunky. I mean, it's definitely food.
Silence! The trial is not over yet. I have more riddles. Maybe you should start the first review.
All right, guys, it's time to explore another world of fantasy adventure in the Song of Seven, Chapter 1.
The Song of Seven, Chapter 1 is an adventure game by Enlightened Games. You play as Kiba, a shy boy who loves playing his lyre. He lives in a tiny town named Kami, where people are so afraid of the outside world that they've built a big wall around themselves.
That's right. A recent storm has bust a hole in the fence. And as Kiba goes to fix it, he meets Emma, a bold girl who lives outside the wall. After some convincing, Kiba ventures beyond the wall, and together the two embark on an adventure.
Well, the first thing you'll notice about this game is just how good it looks. The environments are absolutely breathtaking. There are gorgeous fields, mountains, forests, and deserts. Not to mention this sunset. Wow.
I know, right? The areas are so varied and beautiful, it's stunning. And the character design is charming.
I like how expressive their body language is. You can see Kiba's apprehension or Emma's bold confidence in the way they stand and move. And this helped to flesh out the world a little more and sell the story. But the lack of voice acting made it feel oddly empty. I just would have appreciated a bit of wordless mumbling to make it feel like they were actually talking.
Yeah, that would have given them a bit more personality, instead of just seeming like robots.
What?
Oh, no, the simple kind of robots, Aaron, the poorly programmed ones.
Well, moving on to gameplay. It's classic point-and-click inventory-based puzzling. You'll find items in the world and you'll have to combine them or use them in particular ways in order to progress. Unfortunately, they don't seem to have done anything new with the formula.
Yeah, it felt a bit dated, didn't it? It's just not that fun randomly clicking and trying to find a solution. And often there'd be red herrings thrown in or everything would be based on trial and error. And that just didn't feel elegant at all.
Some puzzles also call for old-school pen and paper to solve. For example, this series of musical puzzles matches symbols on the stone stack with musical notes. You'll need to write down the order, that is, if you're a human and lack a photographic robot memory.
Darren, I'm sorry for what I said about robots before. Look, I love robots. Some of my favorite people are robots. Well, anyway, I found that puzzle really frustrating. I had no idea how to decipher the missing notes. Eventually, I just went online and looked at a walkthrough, but even that didn't explain how the puzzle actually works, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I just sort of stumbled across the solution with guesswork, which didn't feel very satisfying. And overall, the gameplay just lacks a bit of polish. I was constantly getting caught on things as I ran through the environment, and there were so many loading screens between areas.
Affirmative. This allows the game to create a nice cinematic experience through set camera angles, but it's quite bothersome when running back and forth between areas. Oh, but what did you think of the story?
Well, this is where the game really shone for me. It really feels like there's a rich history and lots of mystery in this world. I mean, it's fairly simple conceptually, but I still found it intriguing and heartwarming.
I really liked the positivity that underpins this game. The developers have said, and I quote, they believe games can add value to our lives by overcoming obstacles, using intellect, and creating emotional connections. And I think this attitude is pretty evident. It's like they're trying to make you feel empowered.
Oh, we should also warn that there are some scenes in this game that younger spawnlings might find a bit scary.
Yeah, that's true. Bajo, what did you think overall?
Well, I think this is a charming experience. It's just a shame that the game part of the game doesn't really hold up. I would have preferred less busy work and more storytelling, because that's where this shines.
Absolutely, it is a beautiful game, and I did get quite wrapped up in the story. It's just a shame the gameplay was a bit of a letdown, so I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
I'm giving it 2 out of 5.
Well, usually I'd send you two off to the spawn point desk, but we're stuck in this dungeon.
Oh, wait, I think I spy some boulders over there in the shape of a kind of desk. Maybe we can still answer these spawnlings' questions, Bajo.
Let's go, Hex.
I'll keep looking for a way out. Scanning. Scanning. There's no way out.
All right, well, this looks like a good a place as any to answer some questions. Take it away, Ranger Hex.
Yeah, I mean, this should do nicely, but we have no laptop or email in ye olde fantasy time, so how are we supposed to get to the questions?
Here are your precious questions, fools.
Thanks, Goose Man, sir. He's actually quite helpful when he wants to be.
Yeah, he is quite. Okay, well, let's kick things off with this one from John the Gaming Wizard, who is in Buckety, New South Wales. Raining buckets in Buckety, isn't it?
Buckets of buckets.
Hello, fellow wizards! I was browsing the magical interweb for interesting games for my magical PC, but it was only then that I realized that most games were paid for with a magical card, with heaps of numbers. They cost money. Do you have any magical free games that will blow my magical mind and that will work on PC? If you do not answer, I will banish you to another dimension with my magical wizard powers.
Oh, yes, John, I know all too well of that accursed magical card. Many bards sing songs of the immeasurable power it holds over many of us mortals. And sadly, most games do indeed require payment with its foul string of numbers. A curse on you, mighty credit!
Yes, well, there are a few free games that are magical that I think you might enjoy. Firstly, there's of course Magic Duels, which is a free version of the card collecting game that even has magic in its name.
But if you want a good card game, I'd say go with Hearthstone. It's easily one of the best free games out there and has loads of magic to boot.
Other than that, I would recommend maybe taking a look at some of the popular MOBAs out there, like Dota 2. A few are a bit mature and can be daunting to get into, but they're also very popular and full of the magics.
Yes, sadly, it seems like a few of the really good magical freebies out there are in the more mature side of things, so we can't really recommend many of them here. But hopefully those few are enough to keep you busy for a while.
Okay, well, speaking of mature rated games, we actually have this one from Oscaru, who is one of the stuffed animals in front of you.
Oh,
There are no
stuffed animals.
Just these old boulders here.
Maybe in the boulder hacks.
Yeah. You will never find out which one in New South Wales.
Dear GGSP, this is an outrage. I have sent you a question like this before and you did not answer. But I have a conspiracy. You have been trying to hide the fact that you review M games. In your last episode of Spawnling wanted you to review Clash Royale. You said that it was rated M and Clash Royale is rated 12+. You have reviewed lots of 12+ games. Surely 4+ is G, 9+ is PG, and 12+ is M. The entire ABC is a noob and should drink from the noob cup. If you don't respond, I'll just ask again. I know that you have read this though. Oh, and Darren, you are a mega noob. Prove that you aren't a noob. Accusations of conspiracy! These are serious charges, Hex.
Indeed they are. Occasionally we may briefly talk about an M-rated game, but we give a warning that we're showing an M game and we only show suitable bits of it. So barring some sort of ratings change or an unrated game getting an M rating, we absolutely try to avoid reviewing M games.
As we've talked about before, though, ratings are a bit of a messy subject. But the issue you're bringing up is the fact that iTunes actually has its own rating system.
Yes, it isn't the same rating system that the official Australian Classification Board, or ACB, uses, which are the ones that we base our ratings on, and TV classification is generally based on as well. When you watch TV, you never see a show that is rated 9+, for example, do you?
And the ACB ratings, like G and PG, don't always match up with the iTunes ratings in the way you said. So according to the ACB, Clash Royale is M, but iTunes rates it as 9+, while it also rates Clash of Clans as 9+, while the ACB rates that PG. And we always choose to go with the official ACB ratings.
Okay, well, let's move on to this one now from JDT, the kind of gaming music, who is in Adelaide, South Australia.
Did you say music, Ranger Hex?
Bajo! There's cheese toasty sandwiches under here. I ate my hair a little bit.
Save it for later.
Hi, good game. Why are your videos Dimensione by 512 times 288 when I download them? And not by 1280 times 720. Also, Leet Week, Darren said you cannot get a command block in survival in Minecraft. This is not right. If you put on allow cheats and bonus chests, then you can give player name Minecraft com and _block. You know what to do. JDT out. Well, Firstly, JDT, we'd love to offer our videos in HD, but firstly, we don't shoot in HD, and secondly, our current website and servers don't really support us making any videos in a higher resolution.
Yeah, but if you want to watch it in higher quality online, then our episodes do go on YouTube, and those use kind of a magical illusion to upscale it to 720p.
But as for Darren being wrong, well, we better get the old Dwarf King on the horn, eh, Bajo?
Yeah. I believe this is the phone in
Really?
this time that we are in right
It
now.
looks like a vase
Yes.
with a bit of leaf in it.
Call Darren.
Dusty. It's ringing.
Really is magic.
Darren, it's Bajo and Ranger Hexy. How's it going?
Oh, quite good. How can I help?
Yeah, cool. Sportling here says you were wrong, buddy.
I doubt it.
Well, Darren, they say you were wrong when you said you couldn't use command blocks in survival mode because you can use them with cheats.
Well, that's exactly what I said. Watch. And command blocks cannot be obtained in survival mode without cheats. Otherwise, of course, there are many ways to do things in Minecraft, especially if you want to start using mods. See, Sporling should really be paying closer attention if they want to accuse me of being wrong.
Well, I guess you're safe for another week, Darren. Lucky one.
You may have answered your questions for now, but can you answer my next deviously difficult riddle?
Probably.
Silence! Here is my riddle.
Hang on a sec, Goose Mancer. If you want to ask us something, you have to send in a letter like everyone else.
Oh, fine.
All right.
All right, well, next up we have this one from Goose Mancer, who is in the magic room in New South Wales. Where is the magic room?
It sounds lame. Actually, it sounds pretty cool.
Dear Bard Joe, Hex the Ranger, and Darren the Dwarf King. To be freed from the caves of cheesy doom, you must answer this riddle. I have keys, but no locks. I have a space, but no room. You can enter, but can't go outside. What am I? P.S. Bajo, do these.
Batman!
P.P.S. Goose is the best host. Bye.
Keys, but no locks.
Space, but no room.
You can enter, but you can't go outside. Oh, keys, space, enter. That's easy. It's a keyboard.
Yes.
Bah! Curse you clever adventurers, that's right!
Oh, that was such a rubbish riddle, Goose Man. So firstly, I think you'll find keyboards have loads of locks. There's caps lock.
Scroll lock.
Yeah, scroll lock. Num lock.
Numlock, yes.
Be quiet! Well, you fools will never solve my final riddle. It's so deviously tricky, you'll spend all eternity trapped here with me. Yes, no one has ever solved it. Better adventurers have tried. You may even be driven mad.
Bajo, I
by
think we
it.
should just go back to the
In
other side
fact,
of the
it's
dungeon.
so
Yeah, good idea.
devious.
See you soon, Dazza.
Bye.
I thought I knew it once, but then I realized that was just a shopping list and I had to pick up some magical ingredients. But then I realized the riddle was going to be so... Where'd they gone?
Eerie dungeons filled with tricks and traps are a staple of fantasy games, and in the puzzle platformer Lumo, you may face your deadliest yet.
Lumo is a true test of platforming skill and puzzle-solving ability. You begin as a young kid visiting a retro game hobby fair, only to find yourself mysteriously teleported inside an old 8-bit computer game. Transformed into a squat wizard, you begin your journey.
It seems finding your way back to the real world is your main objective, but you have to traverse a tricky dungeon in order to do that.
The levels in Lumo are presented in a 3D isometric view, which makes all the platforming in the game quite confusing and subsequently very challenging.
Yeah, I have to say, you guys, this is one of the trickiest platformers I have ever played. Not being able to rotate the camera perspective makes lining up jumps so finicky. And if you're just a few pixels off, you will die. I seriously grew tired of hearing that death sound.
Yeah, I really agree. Getting through some of those rooms was torturous. And it's not like you only have to clear them once either. The game has you backtracking heaps to try and figure out where you need to go, so you end up having to pass through really difficult sections over and over again. I mean, the game does utilize 1 or 2 checkpoints, but there were some rooms where I just lost the will to keep going.
Indeed, Hex. My rage quitometer needed to be replaced after one long gaming session.
On the other side of the coin, Lumo is quite clever. I liked the game's weird atmosphere, and it's interesting trying to figure out what you need to do in some of the rooms, like walking backwards to move those big balls, or using that strange affectionate crate that follows you around.
There are lots of little secrets to find in the dungeon too. Some that hide collectibles, some just for laughs. There are even 1 or 2 strange bonus levels to find.
While the bulk of the gameplay is focused on jumping puzzles, you do at one point gain a staff that can scare off icky creatures or illuminate hidden platforms.
Yeah, when the game is more about understanding some sort of puzzle, that's when I had the most fun. Each new doorway you reach seems to lead to some entirely new challenge, which keeps you wanting to explore. Even though that means more treacherous platforming.
Oh, like that painful, slippery ice level. And I really think a lot of this game was intentionally made to be difficult, to call back to some of those old retro games that were known for being obscure.
Oh, indeed, Hex. In fact, if you compare it to a game such as Solstice on the NES, you can see there's a remarkable resemblance.
Whoa, Darren, it really does look like that.
Good catch, Darren. Well, if you want to challenge yourself with some puzzling and platforming, I think Lumo might be for you. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Not me, I had to put this down. The painfully fiddly jumping just put me off wanting to finish it, so I gave it 2 rubber chickens, you guys. Well, we're almost at the end of the show and we're still stuck in this dungeon, so Darren, you may as well give us the answer to your challenge.
Affirmative. At the start of the show, I asked you this. Final Fantasy XIV takes place in the region of Eorzea in the fictional world of what? And the answer is... Hydaelyn!
Hi, Dalen. Hi, Dalen. Hi, Dalen. Hi, Dalen. Why are my quests always failing?
Yeah, I wonder why. Next week in the show, we break a lot of inanimate objects in the resounding chaos of dangerous golf.
4...
Guzmanza! No more time for banter! Out of here we must prancer!
Yes, okay, I have one last riddle for you all, and if you answer, you may be released. Okay, here goes. Many have heard me, but nobody has seen me, and I will not speak back until I'm spoken to. What am I?
It could be... No, that's...
I believe the answer you're looking for is an echo.
Aha! Rejoice! Rejoice! The dwarf has raised his voice!
Thwarted by dastardly heroes once again! Well, I refuse to release you.
Wait, what? Goose, you're not role-playing fair. We've held up our end of the bargain and answered all of your riddles.
We're going to be here for a while. Bard Joe, why don't you play us another tune?
Delighted to.
They're having so much fun. I'm all lonely up here in my tower. Stop having so much fun!
Well, there's nothing to stop you from joining us, Goosemancer.
Ah, yes. Well, that is true, actually. This is my realm, after all. Adventurers, I must apologize for keeping you down here in my dungeon, but guys, it does get very lonely up in my tower. So I bring you this treasure trove of cheese toasties as an apology.
Goosemancer, we gladly accept your offering of toasted cheese sandwiches, and we'll keep you company down here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bard Joe out.
Darren the Dwarf King out.
Goosemancer out. Oh, there you go.
Thank you. So, after we finish these cheese toasties, we get to leave, right?
Well, oh dear. I may have left the key in the tower.
Oh, well, just magic us out then.
Funny story. I can only do that once a week.
Cool down.
Yeah.
Well, if we're stuck down here, I guess there's only one thing for it.
Does he know any other songs?
Nope, just that one.
I've made a terrible mistake coming down here.